And I often talk about, and I've been feeling this lately. It gotta be. I think we're talking about this too. It gotta be us discussing this amongst each other, like for brothers. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that a woman can't raise a man. I mean, you can keep him out of trouble. You can raise him up to be an adult. But a woman, you got a lot of single mothers around here. You can't raise a man to be a man. So, in order to stop using that as an excuse, because it is, we have to come together. We have to take responsibility for each other, so to speak. Like me and you talking right now about some of the issues, but it's a lot of shit we go through. Like, we talk about, and not throwing no shade, we talk about the stuff that the women go through and, molestation and all that type of stuff. But we, brothers, go through that too. And it's like we have to grow up to be men without even having those issues addressed or talked about or not even being showed how to be men. Because you can't do nothing without learning it. And now we live in the age of information. Now you can Google anything, you could read about it, but it's like we need that. I think it's the vibe. It goes as deep as the vibration in our voices. I'm saying it's like with children. You have to have that man around. Just even the presence, like the voice, the vibrations in the voice, like go a long way. And so we have to grow. Aside of all the bullshit we've been through, all the lies we've been told about ourselves. Not to mention like domestic issues or seeing examples of, dysfunctional homes and all that. Now we have to grow up to be men. Now, once we grow up to be a certain age, be a man. Story out there that shows. So I think it's a universal feeling in the atmosphere that it's time for us as men to get together and get to the bottom of our issues. Because we given the charge to be there for the children and be there for the woman. About right, that's our duty, but who's there for us? We have to be there for us. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much, and I think that's what's happening. Like when I saw the footnotes, I was like, damn, that's the wave I'm on. So it's like, I think we finally starting to come to the realization that we need to get ourselves together, because we're hearing it all day. Black man need to stand up, this, that. Black man stand up, we waiting on y'all. Eventually, when you hear something repetitive over and over, you're like, damn, I gotta do something. I gotta talk to somebody, because we don't talk too much. Men don't really talk, but I think in a setting with just men, like we could let our nuts hang, so to speak. We could talk about issues amongst men. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the things that has to happen. And I think it's just like I said, it's a universal energy going out there. That's something that we have to do. And that's one thing too. What we trying to do, any kind of way that I can show a black man in his greatness and his dopeness, I'm trying to put it out there. And everything you're doing is unique. You already do. You know what I'm saying? Just your style and everything. So just encouraging men to look. Don't worry about if you're gonna look crazy, don't worry about if somebody else might disagree or what you doing, or your mama might disagree, your wife might disagree. Look, do you? You know what I'm saying? Be great.
Yeah, the hardest thing about that is like the ones that we want to help have been conditioned to combat it. Because the outside world loves what we do. They make money off of how we move. And we've been conditioned to not accept. Because imagine how powerful it is if the whole. It's like how I always refer to Jay, because I think a lot of people relate to his story. How he's trying to make everyone around him millionaires, right? It's like once you reach a certain level, the movements are way more stronger and founded and rooted, because you no longer have to worry about what the next person is thinking, because y'all are all on the same wave.
Right.
Today it's like, oh yeah, I know this brother is nice or on the same wave because he's reading or he's dressed in a certain way or he speaks a certain way, and that's good, but that still comes off. It still makes me defensive, because I'm like, well, what did what have you gone through to talk like this, and to dress like that? You know, opposed to saying, man, let's go shopping together, or let's go to the library, let's exchange books. You know, it's like those types of building or those steps to building is what we definitely need as a whole. You know, and I think it's happening. I mean, it's happened up north. You know, I grew up in D.C. and everybody in D.C. is on a conscious tip, and everybody like owns their own and keeps money within the community, but they still have systematic structures. Like they still have to send their children to predominantly white schools that teach, you know, white curriculum, or they have to like shop at white stores because, you know, those are the more consistent businesses that you can go every day and get the same quality product, you know. And I mean, I think the whole world is getting a little more savvy and intelligence with communication. So, you know, they're not like making this consumer feel less, or, you know, they really try to have a genuine connection with the buyers. But like we talked about earlier, like when Jay was saying how he wished he would have known to not buy cars and clothes, but buy property. Because not only is the value higher and it grows exponentially, you can do more with the building. You can have businesses at the bottom. You can rent it out to people like you and cut rent and have them save money just so they can have a shelter to live under with people on the same wave. Like the reasons projects don't work is because everybody that's living in the project is on a negative vibration.
It's like a bubble.
Yeah. So, you know, you're exposed to it. It's like basically like a school. You're not teaching them anything. You're showing them a very minimal, not even primary, just a very minimal way of living, call it property, and that's it. And then it becomes cyclical. Like, you know, if this is all I see, this is all I've been taught, I'm just gonna redo the same thing. I may reinvent it, but it's the same low way, you know, opposed to like. I mean, I was in Maryland, man, and I had some friends that live in Section 8 homes and low income homes, and I was like, why are we building parks or gardens in the middle? Let's just start there. Let's just build a garden and teach our kids to garden, and grow food, and then learn how to cook that food, you know, or even have them grow the food and sell it to restaurants, you know. And I mean, to take it even higher, you still got people in college. When I was in college studying, we would get our refund checks from our grants and our scholarships, and we would go buy clothes, or we would give our money to our parents. And I said, why aren't we putting our money together and buying a business?
Right.
Why not buy a house? You know what I'm saying?
Fresh out of college.
Even in college, you know,
college,
to help pay back the loans. But no, man, people get that little bit of, as you were saying earlier, when you start to chip away, you get a little more slack in the rope. You know, you think that's good, content, but
like subtle accomplishments can hurt us, like because you think that, all right, that's it. I done made something, like I done did something. So, but you have more to do. It's like, you know, it's like what I was saying about the rope. People get complacent, but just, you know, think about it. A lot of people in college for business and business management and all that. But of course, college makes us go out and get a job. You know, a lot of people feel like, okay, I got this degree, now I got to go, you know, apply for some jobs. Already, like set a goal for a company already, other than building their own company, so building our own company. And it, you know, this is like a psychology, man. It's just a psychological thing. And just going back to what you said about the gardens, just giving kids having that mind frame, but teaching kids how to grow and giving them that sense of accomplishment. But like, all right, now you grew this apple, you grew this tomato. Now your next step is to sell it. You know what I'm saying? And then the next step. But a lot of us, like, I grew the tomato, I win. You know what I'm saying? Super Bowl. But we gotta, like, all right, what's next? We gotta head at what's the next attitude. You know what I'm saying? That's just it. It's just years and years up there. And also that that just to get by mentality. So we just think of that on a lower scale. Right? I made enough for rent, I win. I'm saying at that level, or I made enough for the light bill, I win. Like you gotta like, it's far more you could get than just paying a light bill, and you know that's something I'm not gonna front. I'm breaking out of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying I'm breaking out of that. Like, all right, rent paid, but I gotta force myself to be like, all right, what next? Because it's a lot of shit that I want to do. It's a lot of shit everybody want to do. But we have to force ourselves to like build for what we want to do instead of just all right, rent paid, that's it.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Because like, we're not even taught the patience that it takes. That's why I like that the whole like technology evolution and how instant gratification keeps us at those levels of rent being satisfying, like to pay rent, to pay my mortgage, to pay my car note. These things seem to be like signals of achievement. We don't even have the patience to like step back and reread a book. We get through a book and say, "Oh, I read it," and that's it.
Right.
And
yeah.
I mean, man, it's like things take time. But it is a muscle, and for some reason we put our achievements into like the bills or the technology, the next phone, and that's enough. And I don't know. I mean, I guess that's to go back to the whole primal thing about we have these other selves that are satisfied with these like illusionary signs of fulfillment. And I think, man, as we open up our minds and we realize, the whole point to life is not just to get to the wall, break free and get free. The point is to constantly build and share the experience. Because we all struggle to find, people call it freedom or love, we all struggle to find that. I mean, I guess the quicker we can expose our children to it, the quicker it will evolve into the next thing and realize, like, we attract everything. We are told, have a house, have a car, have clothes. So when we do get these things, we think that's it. And it's not a negative thing I'm saying, because we're taught it. But we have to realize we teach ourselves. It's not. We can't depend on the education system because that's backed by money. We can't depend on the jobs we have because they're backed by money. We have to truly learn to depend on ourselves, because the more we know and the more we think, the more the world and the more things expand and evolve. Right now we're all very at a base level. We all think money, or we all think certain levels of consciousness are the things to go to. Mm-hmm. But those are just other distractions. You're born conscious. Not everything else you're taught is to break away in the confinement of consciousness. So it's like we're distracted as people, but I think as we, like you said, as we expose creatives and we show everyone around us that we're all alike, and it's not a separation thing when I dress a certain way or when I do a certain thing. It's just to show you that these things can be done.
That's all.
And that's it. I mean, because I know at the end of the day, I can wake up one day and my fingers don't work, and I can no longer type on a typewriter. That's not going to change who I am. Just change what I do. Just changes what I do.